I used to live in the wonderful city of Philadelphia, but I have actually recently moved. I've moved down south to the state of North Carolina. And it's very, very different from me. I'm still adjusting, because it's just like here in Europe, it's a different culture, really. Being down south now. For one thing, I'm going to have to learn how to talk like I'm stupid. You know, people down south, I got to talk to people, how y'all doing? Oh, and when I go and ask for wine, they look at me the way Germans do. You're not having beer? And I say, sprechen Sie Deutsch? So I do fly quite often, and I fly long distances. This past year, I flew down to the convention in Melbourne, in Australia. Sorry, I gotta say it right, in Australia. It's called Midfair. I like Midfair. It's hard to do an Aussie accent. But I do like going to Midfair. I was flying Air New Zealand, or as it's known, Sheepshagger Airlines. Hey, that's not what, no, that's what's printed on the side of the plane. You can see where it's been painted over. They crossed out Sheepshagger and they put in Air New Zealand. I'm sorry, Air New Zealand. You Brits. So, oh, he got that. That took him a second there. It's like, oh, yeah. So, I was going to fly down on Air New Zealand, or whatever you want to call it. And the only concern I had was, I don't have any power over that airline, the way I do over some of the United States airlines. You know, when I walk up with you know, the this and the bowler and everything, and I say, here goes first class, please. And they put me up front. No, Air New Zealand, I get on, they say, get your ass in the back. So I was a little bit worried because it's going to be a very uncomfortable flight. I'm getting older. I can't do those airline seats. I mean, you know how those airline seats work, right? Okay, you may now recline your seat. Oh, okay, good. There we are. Please bring your seat backs up. Oh, all right, there. So I called them up and I said, what is the possibility of an upgrade to something that I can actually sleep in? And they said, we can offer you the sky bed. I said, ooh, sky bed. That sounds delightful. It sounds peaceful and soft and cozy and comfortable, and I can picture drifting off to sleep with pictures of little sheep going, oh, there's New Zealand again. So I said to the lady, how much is this sky bed? That sounds like it's for me. And she said, $1,800. I said, lady, for that much money, there better be somebody in that bed. I said, all right, if I'm going to pay that much, you're going to have to tell me what I can expect. They do things a little different in New Zealand. Their concept of luxury is a little different from mine. Here's what the sky bed is. They sell you a seat, and then they sell you the seat on either side, and you can stretch out across them. That's it. That's all it is. You see, Germany is a wonderful country, but it's a very old country. There are some things here that are older than my entire country. Like, you know, Cheetah's father's shoes are older than my entire country. Let me explain something. I probably don't have to explain it to you. The part I need to explain is it's very, very different for us Americans. You see, our plumbing system, when we bring in water to take a shower, first off, there's a shower that you can actually stand up in, you know, that you can put in, and the difference is, over here, they give you a shower that's this big, and you have to put the shower gel all over your body just so you can fit yourself inside the shower. That's what it's for. And, you know, if you're American, the water just pools up here. It never reaches down into the drain. But where I come from, inside the wall, there's a pipe that has hot water, and there's a pipe that has cold water, and inside the wall, they mix together to make nice bath water. Over here in this country, especially in older hotels, like the Barenjäger in Kettwig, what they have is they have one pipe that comes out of the wall that has a faucet here. The other end is attached far up in the North Sea, next to an iceberg. The other pipe comes with the faucet, goes into the wall, and then descends into the center of the earth. It doesn't bring water up, it brings up hot lava that then mingles with the cold water, and the two kind of tumble out at the same time, and sometimes you get one and sometimes you get the other one. This is called German shower. So, I was at further confusion, and I was sitting in the bar. Surprise. And I was enjoying a drink with friends. When a cougar walked in, I'm not talking one of our kind of cougars. I'm talking the other kind. Oh, yeah. She came in, and she sat down next to me. She was already as drunk as a skunk, drunker than a skunk. In fact, I know a lot of skunks. She was drunker than them. She took her heavily painted nails and just sent them into my leg. And she was talking to me, and oh, it's so wonderful to see all you young people having such a good time. And as she was talking, she kept getting closer and closer and kind of pulling my leg, you know. I was like, what do I do? Where I come from, in my era, a gentleman does not hit a lady. I thought, I have the technology. So I'm smiling, being polite, inching back away from her, trying to get as much space. Meanwhile, I'm on Twitter, which is what I'm thinking is the best route to get out my message of distress, which said something to the effect of, Mayday, 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 Hilton Bar. What did I get? 43 retweets and 83 favorites. The next tweet said, this is serious, come and get me. RT Uncle Kage, this is serious, come and get me. The last one I sent out was, for God's sake, help me. One person out of all those people who retweeted and followed and favorited and all that stuff, one person came to my rescue. Came by and said, oh, Uncle Kage, we need you in a panel. He pried her claws out of my leg and took me away. It scares me. Because I can just see one of these days, I'm going to go to London. I'll be on the streets of London, and some hooligan's going to come out and stab me in the chest. Tio tells me that happens all the time. I'm going to get stabbed in the chest, and I'm going to fall against a building. Twitter, oh God, stabbed in chest, dying, help. RT Uncle Kage, oh God, dying in chest, LOL. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I hope that before I die, that Simon will be there so I can shove this damn smartphone right up his little Asian ass. So Malvern is a very, very little town. But that does not mean that it is not important. When an emergency happens, someone must be there to coordinate the response. That's me. Now, in 12 years of living there, we didn't actually have an emergency for me to coordinate. Until last year. You may have heard of a hurricane called Sandy that struck the east coast of the United States, the northeast coast of the United States, which is not accustomed to large storms. Hurricane Sandy caused billions of dollars of damage, especially in the state of New Jersey. Fortunately, we didn't get a direct hit, but it does not require a direct strike of a hurricane to cause damage. So, as the hurricane progressed, I opened my Office of Emergency Services. I had all of my technology in front of me. Yeah, useless crap it is when the power goes out, which it did. The power went out, so I had to relocate to the fire station, which has an emergency generator. And I was all ready for this. Okay, the power is out. What's the problem with the power outage? It's cold. This was late in the year, so it was very cold. Without power, people will get cold. There are older people. There are children. These people are vulnerable. So I said, I will open a shelter for them. And I called up a religious retreat house that still had power, and I said, be prepared. I am going to send as many as 100 people to your retreat house, and you will shelter them and you will feed them, and all will be well. I called all of the volunteer firemen in. I called in the police officer. Called them in and said, all right, men and miss, this is what we're going to do. I need all you volunteer firemen. You're going to go door to door. You're going to tell everyone that there is a shelter available for them. Officer, I need you to get on your squad car's loudspeaker and go through the town and announce to people we have a shelter open. And he said, I don't think that will work. I said, no, trust me. When I lived in Arkansas and things would flood, this worked very, very well. He said, no, I mean, I don't know if it works. Dude, it's your goddamn siren with the loudspeaker. See, I've never actually turned it on. I told you it's a little town. I worked hard all afternoon to make sure all of the details were perfect. I was practically German. Everything was going to be totally perfect. At exactly 1700 hours, I basically said, go! It is go time. We are in full emergency mode. And I heard one of the emergency managers in the other room on the phone say, oh, it's on. Maybe she's had a fight with her neighbor, and she said, oh, it's on! So I went in and she said, oh, it's my mother. She says the power's on in her part of the town. So I thought, okay, that's just one part of the town. We have a lot of areas in the town. It's probably just that one part. My house is down here. I've got old-fashioned technology. I have an answering machine on my telephone that plugs into the wall. If I dial my number and the answering machine does not answer, then there's no power. So I called my number. It is set on the fourth ring to answer. So I listened. I heard 4 rings and then 5. And I was relieved. And just as I was about to put the phone down, I heard my voice. I ran in to the manager and I said, listen, get on the radio dispatch. I need to know where the police officer is right now. So she did. She said, he's at the street corner. And I said, tell him to remain in that location and not to move until I give him instructions. That allowed me to drive at 180 kilometers an hour through the town to investigate if the power was back on. Which it was. Everywhere. And I was so upset. I mean, not upset. I mean, it's a good thing, right? But I'd worked so hard. I was in full emergency, but my first emergency in 12 years, and somebody went and fucked it up on me.